go In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is driven by Mills Fleet Farm. From Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, here is Justin Hall and Packers defensive back Devon House.
And good evening and welcome to Tanner's here in Kimberly. Another season of In the Huddle is upon us here on the Woodward Radio Network. Great to be with you talking Green Bay Packer football as we will each and every Monday night. I am Justin Hull, and joining me tonight, one of our co-hosts here for 2013. Really happy to have him on board. He's entering his third season out of New Mexico State, fourth-round selection in 2011. Let us introduce you to number 31, Devon House.
Glad to be aboard.
Yeah, thanks for coming aboard. I got to start out with this story. We had a little bit of an adventure with the co-host this year, and I was informed by DJ that last year, I believe it was on the limo ride home, or maybe it was afterwards, that you told DJ you were taking over his show.
Yeah, I did. It's funny. When I believe it might have been, I forgot who DJ filled in for, but I heard about the show. I'm like, dang, I want to do the show too. And then next you know, I hear DJ bragging in the locker room. Yeah, I'm about to have my own radio show. I'm like, oh man. I told him, even in the locker room, I was like, yeah, eventually I'm going to take over your show. So sad to say, it's my show now, I guess.
Yeah, you would have been co-host, but unfortunately that news, and I know we'll talk about it because DJ obviously loved, but we are really glad to have you aboard here. And one of the biggest things too, and I think you know about this, is the In the Huddle karma. The karma that comes from being on the show, because I believe it was last year after you were on the show, you had the blocked punt that was returned for a touchdown, and you were NFC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Yes, so hopefully every week now it's blocked punts and interception for touchdowns.
That's what you tell the teammates in the locker room. Hey, come on my show. This is what happened to me last year, and that's how it works, the karma thing.
The thing is to have someone really good for week 2, for next week, so whoever does a good job week 1, hopefully do a good job week 2 once they get here.
We'll definitely make that happen. But let's find out a little bit more about Devon here. Growing up in Van Nuys, California, you were born there, and Palmdale. Tell us a little bit about that hometown.
Like you said, I was born in Van Nuys, grew up in Palmdale. Palmdale was Palmdale. It was hot, desert, but the kids there loved sports, football, baseball, little bit of track, so I grew up big-time football and baseball guy, but mostly baseball. Somehow, somewhere I ended up playing football, though.
Yeah, how did that end up? Until your junior year, you didn't play football?
Yeah, so I played youth football, then I got to high school, really didn't like football anymore because I wanted to focus on baseball. Dreams was to be a MLB baseball player. Then my junior year was my brother's senior year. His last year played football, and I grew up idolizing him because he was a great baseball player. So anything he did, I wanted to do. And that year, found out I can still play football pretty well. And then going into my senior year football, I had my first letter from Sacramento State, and I thought I was going to go to Sac State after that. But I ended up doing good that year. Ended up walking on in New Mexico State. And the rest is history.
Now, you mentioned you grew up idolizing your brother because he was a great baseball player. He was drafted by the Oakland A's. I think drafted the year before that, was in the Oakland A's until 2011. Now, is the tables turn? He's idolizing you. Now he's going the football route, right?
Yeah, that's what he told me maybe last year, that now he looks up to me for football, which is funny. But, yeah, it's a blessing in the world that how I got in here, how I met my wife, getting my degree, playing for the Green Bay Packers. It all seems like a dream.
Now, growing up too, you also have a sister that plays Division I softball.
Yeah, a house full of athletes. So my sister, she's the lucky one. So her first year at JUCO out of high school, she went to Yapapai for softball. They went to the World Series and they lost to a team from Miami. Then the next year they go to the World Series again. Then this time they win it. So she gets her first ring before any other houses do. And then her second year, her last year that just passed at San Jose, they win the WAC. And then they beat New Mexico State to win the WAC. And then in the WAC tournament, they beat New Mexico State again. So now she gets another ring. So now she has 2 rings. So she brags about that all the time. And on top of that, believe now she's trying to do bobsledding for the USA.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's like a game of Monopoly? Like I mean, it's got to be the most competitive family.
It is very competitive. It's funny. My sister she played baseball first before she played softball, and the only reason why she stopped playing baseball was because the kids were crying because she would hit home runs, and me and my older brother would be there watching in the game and laughing at the kids that were crying. So. One year they didn't want her on the All-Star team because I guess it wasn't fair. So then she had to go play softball.
And it's worked out well for her. 2 rings.
It has.
You got some catching up to do. Start with this year, right?
Yeah, I know. First ring this year, and we get the Super Bowl.
Well, Devon, you mentioned New Mexico State. You got recruited there. First team WAC your junior and senior season, and I think you started, halfway through your freshman year, and then the rest was history?
Yeah. So the first couple of games, I was just special teams. At New Mexico State. Then a guy had a concussion, so then I played the second half of the Boise State game. In that game, I dropped a pick, and I had a couple pass breakups. Then next week, he had a concussion again in the second half of La Tech game, so I played the second half of that. And then the third week, he had to miss a game, and that was our homecoming against Idaho. And that game had 2 picks, one for 104 yards, school record. So then after that.
And I think you're, 6th in school history, too, 11 interceptions?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It was something like that. I know I got the longest return at New Mexico State history, the most return yards, the only guy to have an interception and a fumble recovery for a touchdown in the one season. So I have a few records.
It's quite the accolades there. And then you get drafted by Green Bay, and you go from the L.A. area to Green Bay. I'm sure an easy transition considering how similar those two cities and climates and everything are, right?
What helped me a lot was Las Cruces. It's a small town like this, but not as small as Green Bay. But it was a small town. Green Bay is a special place, though. The only thing I would change different is the snow that never leaves. But besides that, I love it here. Like I tell my wife all the time, I wouldn't want to play nowhere else.
Well, we'll get more into playing for the Green Bay Packers. We'll get more into the 2013 Green Bay Packers as well as we roll on. He is Devon House, and we are in the Huddle, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Coming back with more here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here from Tanner's in Kimberly in the Huddle, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm here on the Woodward Radio Network. Along with Green Bay Packer cornerback Devon House, I am Justin Hull, and we invite people to interact with our show throughout the season. Going to have some fun on Facebook and Twitter. Everybody's on Facebook and Twitter. You can like In the Huddle Show on Facebook. Go to Facebook, search out In the Huddle Show, and then you can follow us on Twitter at In the Huddle Show. Tweet your questions to us that way. That's how we're doing our email segment this year. As we've done in the past, we're going to do Twitter and Facebook questions. So throughout the week or the day of, make sure you log on to those and get your questions in, and we'll have a little prize for you. Tell you more about that coming up a little bit later on. But Devon, 2013 coming up on Sunday. You guys get the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm sure you're sick of this question, but that loss last year to end the season, how long did that one linger around in the head?
Still there. It's still there, but there's things that we could have done a lot better. Even prior to the game, the weeks before, we lost to Minnesota, which was, we could have home field advantage. Then, that could have made a big difference. Then you guys could have been there screaming for us. It could turn the game around. There's plays that can pick out from the playoff game, but we're very prepared for what San Fran has got for us. So we're excited and ready to prove the world that we're better than what we showed our last game.
You mentioned that proving to the world thing, and I'll bring it up because one of the biggest questions this offseason was the toughness of the team. As a member of that defense, and I guess speaking for that defense, hearing people as a football player question toughness, it's got to be a tough thing, maybe an irritating thing to hear.
Yeah, I don't see how you can be a professional football player and not be tough. So that doesn't bother me because it's a tough sport, and if you're not tough, you're not gonna be able to play it. So, I really don't pay too much attention to it.
Speaking about toughness, too, I think you showed a lot of that last year, the shoulder injury, fighting through that throughout the season. Just where are you now, and how much did that maybe affect you last season?
It was tough, especially, I was out the first 6 weeks because of my shoulder and just trying to rehab it and trying to get it stronger. And then once I got back, I was stuck inside a harness, which helped a lot. But, it limited me to the things I wanted to do out there, playing corner. But now that it's off, I'm so excited and glad I can be free and play Divine House football.
I remember talking to you in the locker room after the first day. You're able to go out there and hit with it, and you had a big smile on your face. You like being out there, like being able to use that shoulder again, like you mentioned, to get back to where you were.
Yeah, it makes a world of difference. Big time. So hopefully when San Fran gets out there and we're running around, everything goes well, and I'm back to how it was last year before I got hurt with the harness. But I have no worries with my shoulder at all, so I'm just ready to play.
Yeah, I think the moment maybe when the world saw your shoulder was back was the Donald Driver charity softball game with how you swing that bat. You're home run derby champion last year, right?
Yeah, I fell just short this year. But, yeah, I can – that's what I told myself. If I can't play football, I know one for sure. I can hit that softball mile, though.
Tell Driver every year that softball game's on, you want to be back there playing it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of the big changes this year to the training camp, Coach McCarthy's, he's always tweaking things. I think ever since he's come in, he's trying to toy with, the right formula to try to get things right. And, after a couple years of scattered practices, AM, afternoon, evening practices, this year went to a more actually pretty much except for one practice, I think, all AM practices, trying to get your bodies in routines so injuries, try to fight that. What's that like as a player, finding out that, okay, we're not practicing at night or afternoon, we got morning practices every single day?
It was good for us because you got up and you was ready to play. Especially during camp. Camp's such a long day. Rather get in and go out there and work already, and right as soon as we wake up, then wait till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then finally go out there and run around. One thing that I love too, the way Coach changes the practice, we have a region period where he plays a little music, and we have a lot of wannabe dancers on the team, so that's a fun segment of practice now.
Yeah, that's something he did this year, the TV timeouts. I think that's what he sold it to the media as, in playing some different songs. All right, who's the best dancer out of your teammates?
Sorry, it's sad to say, but it would have been DJ, but DJ's not here right now. So it would have to be J-Mike dances a lot during our TV timeouts, and Jared Bush, who's a big-time dancer.
All right, who was on the other side of it? Who were the guys that, thought they could dance and were just, making a mockery of themselves?
Brandon Bostic. Sorry, Brandon.
We know Bostic very well. He was here with DJ every single week. I think kind of his right-hand man.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get him in here. But, yeah, Brandon's one of those.
Well, a couple of big position stories, too, throughout training camp. The quarterback position, which got really interesting over the last couple of days. Training camp begins. It's Graham Harrell and B.J. Coleman. Then after family night, Vince Young comes in. After the third preseason game, Harrell's gone, and then it's Coleman versus Young. I think surprisingly to everybody, Young was cut, for the 53-man, and then it turns out today that Coleman was also cut, and in comes 10-year NFL veteran Seneca Wallace and Scott Tolzien, a former Badger here from Wisconsin, a guy that's been, I believe, a third stringer last year with San Francisco. So how do you guys on the defense follow that train of what's going on in the offense at that backup quarterback spot?
Tell you the truth, I just look and just hope whoever our backup is going to have the best opportunity for us to win if Aaron was to go down, knock on wood. But this league is tough. And people don't realize. It's funny. Like, I was talking to the other day, but I was like, I just got home from work, and they're like, football? I'm like, no work. But this is work, and it's all a business. I'm pretty sure Graham and BJ and Vince know that it's all business, no hard feelings. Hopefully, they all get picked up by someone. But I mean, we'll see what Seneca can do. I mean, pretty sure whatever coach has up his sleeve, it's whatever it is. I'm riding whatever he's going for.
I saw this stat today. Thought it was very interesting to tell how things work in Green Bay. 51 of the 53 players on the 53-man roster, the only NFL snaps they have taken are with the Green Bay Packers. That means only 2 players have played a single down outside of Green Bay in this league.
That's crazy. So the way he can look at it is, I would hate to be those other 2 guys, or it's a blessing to still be here, playing for Green Bay. But the good thing about it, I mean, we do a great job upstairs with Ted and our personnel department with our draft class. Even though sometimes we do draft players like B.J. Coleman and Andrew Dacko who've gotten released, they were draft picks, but they do a great job with who they bring in and looking at college teams and college players.
You know who those 2 players are offhand? Can you think? Seneca Wallace, obviously.
Well, Brian Pickett.
That would be the other one, yeah.
Yeah, Brian Pickett. I would say Tramon Williams, but he didn't play in Houston.
No, he started there, and then John Kuhn started with Pittsburgh on their practice squad as well. So each and every week we have our Compass Land Consultants injury report. Compass Land Consultants, a full-service real estate consulting business specializing in the sale of vacant land, including hunting property. Are you a hunting guy?
No.
We got to get you out there.
I've done clay shooting. Does that count?
You're getting there close. Just like Aaron Rodgers, Compass Land Consulting is the best in the business when it comes to selling all types of land. Let Compass lead you to victory in your search for the perfect property, whether it's a small lot on the water or hundreds of acres to hunt that big trophy whitetail. Compass Land Consultants has the experts to find exactly what you're looking for. Give them a call today, 800-548-6933, or check them out on the web at clclands.com. And the injury report, we'll finish it up here coming up after the break, but injured reserve, Brian Bulaga, the offensive tackle, running back DeJuan Harris, wide receiver Kevin Dorsey, and linebacker Jarvis Reed put there before the season. 4 players on the PUP list as well, tackle Derek Sherrod, Sean Richardson, defensive tackle Terrell Worthy, and J.C. Treader, the offensive lineman. We'll get you updated on some other injuries when we return. It's In the Huddle, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner's in Kimberly in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network, along with Packers cornerback Devon House. I am Justin Hull. As we continue here, our Compass Land Consultants injury report. We mentioned the players going on injured reserve, Devon, Brian Bulaga and DeJuan Harris, a couple of individuals that from, just hearing Coach McCarthy talk about those injuries, I'm sure we're ready to play big roles in this team this year.
Yeah, especially Bulaga. And it sucks that he went down last year, too, with his hip. I believe he got hurt Family Night scrimmage game.
This year it was the family night.
So which is even worse because you didn't even get hurt during a real game. But Bulaga is going to play a big role, especially DeJuan. And he might have been a couple of plays he was in from getting back from, I believe it might have been from his surgery or from.
Yeah, he had the cyst removed from his lung, and then there was a knee injury too that wasn't public, wasn't talked about. So we found out about that, just in the weeks, when he was sitting out with the knee, and then it was kind of I think a surprise. All of a sudden he was out because it sounded like it was only going to be a week or two. At first.
So which sucks.
Wide receiver Kevin Dorsey, linebacker Jarvis Reed, also on injured reserve, as we mentioned. The PUP list, they have to sit out until week 6, but they may come back. Derek Sherrod, the offensive tackle, who that injury suffered in 2011, a really tough leg injury trying to return. Safety Sean Richardson, Terrell Worthy, and J.C. Treader. Casey Hayward, nursing a hamstring injury. Any idea on Casey? Can you give us an update?
He should be back soon, within the next couple of weeks. We're going to need him, too. He picked off like 6 or 7 balls last year.
Led all rookies.
Which is really good. But right now we have Micah High who will be stepping in. Micah's been doing a terrific job inside and outside. So, that's one thing, like I said before, the Green Bay does a great job doing with their draft class. Even last year, Charles was out at a point in time, Clay was out at a point in time, and believe during that span, we won. One game we lost was the Giants game, and it was like we were like 6-1 during that span, or like 5-1 during that span, which is really good.
And a couple other injuries. Safety Morgan Burnett, linebacker Brad Jones, they had hamstring issues last week. They were back at practice today, so that's good news there. All right, we're coming up to our segment, and we're going to call this our wild card segment. Each and every week we're going to do something a little off the path, a little bit fun, try to mix things up here a little bit. And last year we did things like yearbook awards, where DJ and I believe Jeremy Ross were giving out, most popular, most likely to succeed, those type of things. We might do that later this year, how well you know your teammates. But today, since it's our first day with Devon, I got 20 questions for you, Devon, to find out more about you. We might spend a little time on some, maybe on others, but all right, question number 1. What was the first thing you bought when you signed your contract?
My wife's wedding ring.
That's a great answer right there. I don't even think we need the other 19 questions to find out more about you, Devon. You want to introduce your wife to everyone on the network and everyone here?
My wife's Latricia House. We met my freshman year in college, and first of all, I have a website coming up soon. It explains all how we met. But brief, a little bit about us. We met freshman year in college, and before we were married, her last name was House. So that's how we kind of connected, I guess you say. So it was destined.
Outstanding. So, well, we are going to get to the other 19, so just so you know here. But all right, question number 2, Devon. What was your favorite Christmas present you received as a kid?
As a kid, I probably would say, well, like I said before, I idolized my brother. He gave me his old Easton bat that he hit like 9 home runs with. So growing up, that was a big thing for me. I hit 7 with it, so I didn't get the 9, but I got 7 though.
That's good stuff. All right, question 3. Last movie you saw in a theater?
We seen Wolverine.
Wolverine. I saw you like Deadliest Catch.
Yes.
Is that true? Question number 4. If you had to spend a season on any boats on the Deadliest Catch, which one would it be?
First of all, I'm gonna go on my own boat, so we can call it the house's boat.
Do some paleo crab fishing up in the Alaskan seas. All right. Question number 5. Who was your training camp roommate, and what was the best and worst part about rooming with them?
MD Jennings was my training camp. No, there's nothing bad about meeting with MD. Yeah. Oh, yeah, one thing. Something little, but his charger had the light on it. So I'm trying to sleep, and his charger has a light in his room. But besides that, there's nothing.
Best thing?
Best thing, that he was the DB, so we got along really well. We always talked football. We both came in together, so we had a good thing, a lot of stuff in common.
All right, what's your favorite food?
Favorite food right now is tacos. I've been craving tacos lately, so whenever my wife makes tacos, it's so good.
I was going to say, next question, what's your favorite place to get that food? It probably should be your kitchen,
yeah,
right?
My wife's kitchen.
Yeah. All right. Best thing you did this past summer with your time off?
Me and my wife went on our anniversary. We went to the Big Island of Hawaii, and we met a good friend of ours. His name is George, big Packer fan, and we golfed at his own golf course he has, and he'll be out here in November.
He has his own golf course?
Yeah. Well, he managed the golf course, so I can't say he has his own golf course.
It's kind of like that, but what kind of car do you drive?
I drive a rental. My wife drives her Cadillac Escalade XT.
Now, next question, is that the cars you guys initially had when you came here before going through your first Green Bay winter?
Our first car we had, in general, we had a scooter in college. We still have it. It's that, we don't have it out here because I think I'll probably get in big trouble if I rode that out here. But it's back in California, just sitting there collecting dust until our kids be able to ride it one day. But as soon as we got here, we was just rent a car, and then after our first year, we got our truck.
Okay, I was just making sure you got the truck because of the snow.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah,
you weren't
yeah.
used to that one. Yeah.
That was a must.
All right. What do you miss most about being a kid?
Man, no worries. Got no worries at all, and so much energy. I get so tired now. Back then, I don't think I even got tired or hurt. I feel like I'm walking down the stairs, I get hurt.
Things a little different now. As you mentioned too, and something to point out is training camp. I think some people think you show up for practice, then you go home, and then you show up for practice, and then you go home, and then you go to the games, and that's about as far from the truth as possible.
Yeah, it's super far.
Meetings and all that?
Meetings, walkthroughs, more walkthroughs. It's walkthroughs and meetings.
All right, outside of George in Hawaii, favorite person you've gotten to meet since becoming a Green Bay Packer?
Oh, man.
Aaron Rodgers from the back of the room, probably a good answer.
I don't know. We're gonna have to come back to that question.
Okay. I just say, I know Lil Wayne, one of your favorite. He was walking around the locker room one day at Lambeau.
Yeah, well, I think that was the year before we came. That Super Bowl run, I think he came, so I didn't get to meet him.
Favorite sport to watch on TV?
Favorite sport to watch on TV? I have to say baseball. Now that I'm in football, I don't watch it that much because I watch it all the time.
That's a theme. We get that theme every year, I think, because you play football. Everybody thinks, you go home and you watch every single game on Sunday. You've watched every 49er game the last 10 years and all that. I mean, that's just the assumption.
It's far from. I don't think a lot of people don't even watch football when they get home at all. I mean, the only time I really watch is if we play. We play Washington next week, so I'll try to watch Washington game if I can this week.
Yeah, they're on Monday Night Football, right?
Yeah.
I think this week. And we'll get one more of these. We'll kind of round out these in the next segment. But last concert you attended?
Oh, we've never been to a concert.
Really?
Yeah, never been to one.
Not a music guy or live music guy?
We just never. I mean, in college, we didn't have enough money to do that. And now that we're here, it seems like we've been too busy to do it.
Work. Getting ready for those San Francisco 49ers,
exactly.
right, Devon?
Exactly.
All right. We'll finish up our 20 questions with Devon. We'll get to our social media questions if we have a few coming into the Twitter account as well as the Facebook page. And we'll talk about that first opponent, the 49ers, coming up. We are in the huddle tonight right here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here in the huddle from Tanner's in Kimberly on the Woodward Radio Network. In the huddle brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm, along with Packers cornerback Devon House. I am Justin Alt. Transportation for Devon tonight provided by L&S Classic Limousine. Lenny and Sue, the best in the business. Lenny's usually out by the pool, getting a little swim in. No? Okay. You're looking at me all confused, but. All right, we'll get to our Twitter and Facebook questions. Got a few that came in this week, trying to get that going with our social media segment. We'll tell you more about that in a second here, but kind of wrapping up our 20 questions with Devon. We ended on last concert you attended, which was a terrible one because it was no concert. If you could receive an endorsement deal from any company, what one would it be? And we'll send the tape to them to try to help you out too.
Right now, it would be Ping, since I'm into golf right now. So,
you just get into golf?
I just got into it in June. So I've been every time I can. I'm trying to golf.
How's that going for you?
It's going good. I'm not no good, but I like doing it. So
it's one of those sports. You're outside. You're enjoying
exactly.
nature. You're out there with your buddies having a good time. So all right, beverage of choice.
Water. I don't drink. So it's not fun to party with me then, I guess.
Stay hydrated too this time of year as well. If it could be one season all year round, fall, winter, spring, summer, which one would you choose?
It'll be fall, especially out here in Green Bay. So it'll be fall.
On football season. Good answer. Greatest non-sports accomplishment?
Greatest non-sports. Oh, marry my wife then. If does that count?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. If I didn't answer it that way, my wife would probably slap me. So I should say yes, it does count. If you could learn to do anything, I'll take golf out of the equation too, because that's the easy answer right now. If you could learn to do anything you don't know how to do, what would it be?
probably say play the piano. DJ had my wife crying how good of a piano player he is. So one day we had to leave his house a little early because he was playing a little too much piano for me.
C.J. Wilson knows how to play piano
really?
too. Yeah, there's a story about I guess the night before the Super Bowl. He was playing the piano and the whole team was singing along. It was like one of those moments. So you might have to bug CJ.
I will. I want to bring. Well, yeah, he can because I remember he told me one time that he was playing the piano, but I didn't believe him. But now I guess I gotta believe him.
All right, last one for you, Devon. Hollywood comes out with a movie based on the life story of Devon House. Which actor is casted in the role of Devon House?
Wow. I don't know. We're gonna have to go Denzel Washington, I guess. we're gonna throw some dreads on him. And
I want to bring up the dreads, okay? Mm-hmm. It seems I don't know something about Green Bay, but how many guys have dreads in Green Bay? If a college player has dreads, I think there's a 50-50 shot he's coming to Green Bay.
Well, I don't know. I know last year we had like 9 or 10, but I mean we got a few more that came in this year, so there's a lot.
Dreads and players with initials. Yeah, TJ, BJ, DJ.
Yeah, there's a lot of initials. MD.
Yeah.
We actually got 2 MDs. I guess Mike Daniels' initials. They call him MD too. I didn't know that.
Just keep calling him Mike. Yeah. You don't want to get him confused with anybody else. So, all right, we will skip forward here to our social media segment. Again, each and every week we're going to take some questions on Twitter as well as Facebook, facebook.com/InTheHuddle. You can go there, sign up with your questions for Devon or our guests as well, and of course tweet at InTheHuddle Show. And we got one earlier today here, Devon, on the Twitter. With Charles Woodson being gone, Eric wants to know how many times you guys are going to pick off Jay Cutler this year.
As many as it takes to win the game.
It seemed like Jay Cutler and you guys, I mean, you guys must feast when that Bears game comes in because he's always throwing it to you guys. Maybe he wants to be Aaron Rodgers, be able to complete passes to Packers or something.
I don't know. I wish I can comment more, but I don't know.
You don't want to give him any fodder to talk about, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next question coming from Mark. Devon, it seems like you speak highly of DJ. Just, talk a little bit about him and how missed he's going to be in Green Bay.
I mean, as a person, DJ is a great person. Great guy, great family guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys saw his E60 story before he came into the league about, how it was for him growing up. But DJ was just a good character guy and got along with everyone in the locker room. And was even a great guy outside the community. I think he had like the Live United poster.
Yep.
Yeah, and did a lot of things in the community too as well. So he will be missed.
Just kind of how things go too with this, football business too, because you do become friends with your teammates. You have those close relationships, but at the same time, it's that business side of it, that balance. I mean, it's a tough balance to fathom, I guess, on the outside looking in.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, you got to just remember it's all business. It's just the business that we're in. You're going to get cut eventually, or if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to retire before you get cut. So that's just the way it is.
All right, we're going to get one more question here. This one coming from John, who wants to know, what's your favorite part about being a Green Bay Packer?
Favorite part? For me, it's tradition. I love the tradition you guys have here. The fans are loyal. They love you regardless. If you have a bad game. You can go on and on about tradition and you got the great Bart Starr, Al Harris. I can go on and on about how great Green Bay really is.
We could spend an hour talking about all the great players to suit it up here. That was our social media segment. We'll talk more. We'll wrap things up, too, when we return. We are in the huddle with Packers cornerback Devon House here on the Woodward Radio Network. And back here at Tanner's in Kimberly, in the huddle on the Woodward Radio Network, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Devon House, Green Bay Packer cornerback, our host this week. I am Justin. We are planning on having co-hosts. We'll have more of a announcement on that a little bit later on in the week, but I'll be listening for that. So Devon, once the season gets going, will be joining us every other week, rotating with our other host. And like I said, we will definitely let you know. And in the huddle, we got this announcement to make on our Woodward Radio Network. We are up to 30 stations this year.
That's a lot.
28 in Wisconsin, Escanaba, Michigan, WCLQ, and KWLO in Waterloo, Iowa. So our friends at KFIZ in Fond du Lac, no longer the only Wisconsin station, or the only Woodward Radio Network with a K starting in their letters there as well. But we'd like to thank our other stations along the way too, WJCM in Rice Lake, WPRN in Ripon, and WCLB in Sheboygan, among the 30 stations that you can catch in the huddle on if you can't make it out here to Tanner's in Kimberly. Well, Devon, San Francisco 49ers. So what's the game plan on Colin Kaepernick? What's the game plan on the offense?
To stop him. To stop him and whatever it takes to win the game. We have a game plan, and we're going to stick to our game plan. And we watched a lot of film on Cap and what he's done, his playoff run. So I'm confident in what we can do and how we will do it. And
after this week, and I know you guys take it game by game, but RG3 and the Washington Redskins coming up in week number 2. It was announced today RG3 is going to start the opener next week, Monday Night Football against Washington. So having two quarterbacks that are the run option style when there's only a handful of them in the league, having them back-to-back, that's got to be a little bit of a help.
Yeah, it is. We don't have to go, worrying about read option, then worrying about, a player like Drew Brees. We're going to have two of the same quarterbacks back-to-back.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, I don't think Andy Dalton really fits into the run option side.
He doesn't.
3 weeks, then a bye this year. Week 4 for the bye week. Take us through what
sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice to have it week 9, but I mean, it is what it is. Week 3 we'll have it early. We just gotta ramp up after that and go for the long haul.
Now, the nice thing, too, is the NFL, everybody plays on Thursdays. You guys play on Thanksgiving, so you'll get some extended time off there, kind of a second bye week, unless that's just, Coach McCarthy's way of trying to lighten the mood on a week 4 bye week.
Yeah, but that's what he calls it. He calls it our mini bye. So I guess you can say we have 2 bye weeks. And not too many teams can do that.
Game on the schedule this year you're looking forward to the most? Is there a player to go up against, a quarterback that you're really looking to, try to take one to the house? No pun intended, the other way on.
But of course, week 1, since we lost to him last year. But for me personally, it's going to be the Giants. That probably might have been not my best game of last year. Still had, numbers-wise, was a good game, but I gave up a touchdown. So that game.
The division this year, Detroit, Chicago, some people think that they're going to be better. Minnesota obviously made the postseason last year. It's kind of your thoughts on the division and just, are we looking at this division getting better as a whole since maybe day one when you rolled in?
Yeah, most definitely. Especially Minnesota. They have, sad to say, but they picked up Greg and they got Desmond Bishop. They had a young safety last year who was a rookie last year who's getting better. Christopher Pond is getting better every year. So, that's a team. Chicago with their new offense. Alshon Jeffries, second year in the league. So that's another thing. And then Detroit with another offensive weapon they got with Reggie Bush. They're only going to get better too. So hopefully we're better as well so we can win the division again. But it's going to be tough. I feel like we have the toughest division in the league.
You said Christian Ponder is getting better?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that was that was said. All right. We'll leave you there. How about the NFC as a whole, too? Because when you look at it, there are not many teams in that conference, in your conference, that are doormat teams, to flat out say it. I look around and you can make an argument for everybody in this conference being a playoff team.
Yeah, 2 years ago, Detroit almost made it playoffs.
No, they made it. They were 11-5. They lost to New Orleans.
There we go.
Wild card, yeah.
And even this year, I think they started off Last year, didn't they start off hot?
Last year, they were cold last year.
Okay, then.
Yeah. It was Minnesota that started out hot. Yeah.
Okay, they might have been Minnesota. No, Chicago started off like 6-0.
That's right, yep.
But didn't make it to the playoffs. But they won 10 games, huh?
They were the last team. They were the last team out. I can't remember if they won 10 or 9, but it was them in Minnesota battling for that final playoff spot.
But yeah, I would say it's either our division or I believe it's Dallas division. It might have the toughest division in the league, to me.
I think you guys have the toughest division. I really do, because I think it's going to be a race. I think those division games, I mean, those 6 games right there, and I know you want to go 6-0, but getting to 4-2, 5-1 of those, if you guys can do that, I think that is, or whomever might do that, I think that's going to be the key this year to the North.
Yeah, I do agree.
Well, we got San Francisco coming up this week. Devon, I got to say a big thank you to you. It's been a lot of fun, and I am looking forward to 2013 chatting with you here on In the Huddle. Welcome to the show here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be in the huddle.
It's going to be a lot of fun with Devon, a lot of great insight and what have you, and we'll do this each and every week here from Tanner's in Kimberly. Say some thank yous as well. Mike Steele, our engineer, Reggie and Zach back at the home ranch on the Woodward Radio Network, making sure everything works out very well. Again, until next week, we'll talk to you in the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network.